In 2015, a crack comedy team was sent to a podcast for jokes they did not want to tell. They promptly escaped the minimum security club to the Fredericksburg Underground, where they survive as comedians of fortune. If you need a laugh, and no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you could hire FXBG Pirate Radio.
Hello and welcome once again to FXBG Pirate Radio. This is EK the DJ alongside with the Madman.
Hey, I'm the Madman.
And listener Tom in studio Tom.
On location Tom.
On location Tom.
Yeah, we should pick one name and stick with it. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're gonna keep adding to the pile. We're gonna give him 16 names. 16 named Tom.
Okay.
No, 20 named Tom because it sounds better.
Excuse me. So, we want to start out with weekends? How was your weekend, boring dad?
Boring dad. Let me think. Weekend was boring.
What'd you do, watch your kid?
I watched Now You See Me and Now You See Me 2.
Which one's that?
It's the movie about the Four Horsemen magicians.
Oh, okay.
With Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, the young Franco brother.
Did the second one make sense to exist? The first one was okay.
Yes.
And it did have a good twist in it.
The second one also had a decent twist.
Yeah. I liked the twist. I didn't expect the twist on the first one.
It wasn't necessary to make the second one.
They're just.
But Lizzie Kaplan's in it, and I like Lizzie Kaplan.
All right. I haven't seen it. I appreciate you guys are trying to avoid the spoiler. Is it good though? I mean, would I watch it?
I liked it.
Where'd you watch it? HBO, Netflix, what?
I think it was on demand, Comcast on demand. I think it was on HBO though.
Okay.
Or maybe Stars. I'm not 100% sure.
What is it? Is that a landline?
Yes. Ringing softly in the background.
What the hell?
I'm ignoring it.
Oh, okay.
I assume that.
1997.
As nobody has this phone number.
Is it a true copper landline or is it a VoIP?
It's VoIP.
Okay.
Well, wonderful.
So yeah, it was good.
You did put hashtag nerd, right?
I did put hashtag.
It's essentially four magicians that come from different types of magical backgrounds. Like one's a mentalist, one's like a sleight of hand specialist. Another's one of those like lock me in a box and I'll escape kind of specialists. And then there's like a street magician, who the 3-card Monty kind of.
I got you.
The scam artist kind of magician. He's a
Franco?
lock. Yeah, that's Franco. He's a lock pick and all that. And basically they get called together by a mysterious entity to put on this show that escalates every time they do a show, and it's awesome. It's
what's it called again?
Now You See
You See Me.
Okay.
That's the first one, and then Now You See Me 2, obviously, is the second one.
Oh, well, that's good that they named it that.
I can't remember the chick's name. Is it Amy Adams?
No,
it's not Amy Adams. It's the girl that plays the crazy girl in Wedding Crashers.
Yes.
That doesn't narrow it down a whole lot, does it?
I'm trying to remember her name. She's gorgeous.
Yes, the redhead, the crazy one that's all about Vince Vaughn in that movie.
And if that was happening to me, I would be down for it.
Yeah, you be as crazy as you want.
I mean, I don't really go for, you show me once you're crazy, I'm like, I'm not really interested in that girl. But if she was crazy in that way, I'd be down with it.
Especially if it was Isla Fisher, which is.
Yeah, Isla Fisher, that's right.
She's not in the second one, though. In the second one, she's replaced by Lizzie Kaplan. She doesn't play the same character. It's a different character, but
all right, I'm going to Google Lizzie Kaplan. I want to see if she's good looking.
There's something about she is a comedian and actress. She was also in the series Party Down. And I'm just a fan. I'm a fan of her comedy style.
You said Lizzie Kaplan?
Lizzie Kaplan, yeah. Yeah, I'm just a fan of her comedy style. It's kind of dry, sarcastic. But all in all, it's these four magicians making capers happen, and it's awesome. There's so much emphasis on sleight of hand, and that's like that to me. Like there is a grace to being good at sleight of hand.
It's a rogue skill.
Yeah, and it's so impressive. It's like there's a scene where Jesse Eisenberg is flipping the coin between his fingers, and it's so beautiful. It's graceful, like the flow of the coin through his fingers. And then there's Franco's character throws cards, like playing cards.
Not easy.
No, not at all. And he's on it. Like there had to have been extreme amounts of practice
or CGI.
Or possibly CGI, yeah.
I mean, I understand that those kind of things are what make actors show how good they are. For example, like really playing an instrument,
right?
Or
like
developing these skills.
Will Ferrell's character in the movie where he hears the voice in his head and it's the writer.
Stranger Than
Fiction. Yeah, when he actually plays the guitar in that movie, and you can tell that he was learning how to play the guitar for that scene. But yeah, I'm a fan of that. I was a fan. I liked both movies. I just saw them. That was my weekend. I watched a couple movies, and I think that I'm gonna make that a regular habit, watching new release movies, just so I have something worthwhile to talk about. Dad movie reviews.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Now You See Me 2 is on my list to watch. I did like the first one.
I really liked it. I liked both movies. The second movie wasn't a necessary sequel, but it wasn't worthless. I enjoyed it. And Daniel Radcliffe is in it as, I guess, the villain is what you'd call him, I guess.
So he's still getting work, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Strange.
He's actually been in quite a handful of things.
Yeah, I know. Damn it, my headphones went out again. All right. This wire's twitchy or something.
Stop touching the damn thing.
I know. I'm always moving, though. I'm fidgety.
What about you guys? Weekends?
How about you, Tom? What'd you do?
I procrastinated all weekend not to do the performance appraisals I need to do for my staff. So I did that.
Tell them how they suck.
Well, they're awesome.
No.
Well, some of them. Let's see. I got up early Saturday morning. I gave blood.
Oh, good.
Little girl has this disease, and she has to get a blood transfusion every 2 weeks. So I gave a double donation. So I saved some lives.
Helped in saving some lives.
I saved some lives.
That's good. I say go give blood. Absolutely, they need that stuff.
I say sell it.
If you have
Hey,
blood that will pay.
Big Pharma can sell life-saving stuff. Why can't we?
I'm all positive. Everybody can have my blood. I'm a commoner.
Well, it's better to be positive than negative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then I treated myself. I went to since I saved lives. I figured I'm going to go get
now I'm going to go
lunch.
kill somebody.
Yes. I went to Mason-Dixon, my favorite restaurant.
Downtown, right? Kind of downtownish.
Right next to Carl's.
Yeah.
I don't really consider it downtown.
Yeah, it's downtown enough for me.
So let's see.
Mason-Dixon, huh? Every time I've been there, it's been packed, and I was like, I'm not going to bother.
I expect a half-hour wait, and so we stroll in there, and there's a line there, but it was a line for a big table.
What, like it was like a big party? Or?
They had to combine a couple tables.
Oh, I got you.
And so I just strolled in, and party of three. I took my kids with me, and right here, sir. This table just came available, and the look from the one guy.
Really?
And the owner had to say, well, listen, we're putting a table over there. We're waiting for the one party to leave so we can combine the two. I mean, yeah, we had to seat them. I heard the owner have to explain that to him. So
Some
yeah.
people.
But then I further procrastinated not doing work. I just I binge watched TV shows. I got caught up on all my shows, which took like 3 hours, and I watched football.
What shows you watching?
Too many. But what I was catching up on the weekend was I watched New Girl.
Oh my God.
I still like it.
Okay. What else?
What's the show? The Good Place?
Not familiar with that one.
So, did you ever see the South Park movie?
I've lost interest.
Did you ever see the South Park movie when they said, "Oh, the Mormons got it right," which heaven, hell.
Right.
So, this girl dies, and she's like, "Where the hell am I?" and there's Ted Danson. He goes, "Oh, you're in a good place. Oh, somebody got it right. Out of all the people, there was just some random dude." But they have a tally of what you did good in your life and what you did bad in your life. And these people that got to the good place, they had like the tally of like in the millions. You're talking, the Buddhist monk, sacrifice and blah, blah, blah. This person is a horrible person. And somehow she mistakenly got brought to the good place. So every week it's just...
Yeah, I'm not going to watch that.
It's funny. And then they find the good place and the bad place and stuff happens. It's good. There's another guy that shouldn't be there. I like it.
Okay.
It's got Kristen Bell in it. Does that sway you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I have it on Hulu. It's so I
it's
usually
on
watch
Hulu?
it on
Screw
Hulu.
that then.
It's Thursday night, so I usually don't. I'm usually
Screw
busy
that.
Thursday night, but I watch it on Hulu. You can watch it on NBC on demand. But that's what I was watching. And now the new show I'm gonna start watching is Powers.
Powers. Which one's that?
It's DC based. You know who Danny Pudi? He was from Community, the Indian guy.
Yeah, Abed.
Okay.
Of Troy and Abed.
It's DC based. You got Bruce Wayne's brother. They run this business, but they clean up after superhero accidents.
Oh, like Damage Control.
Yes.
I got you.
So it looked interesting. I'm not sure if it's an hour long. It's got my favorite droid. Alan Tudyk is a character in it.
Oh, cool.
So
Alan Tudyk, man.
He's like in every sci-fi show, but yeah, he's
got a lot of work after Firefly,
no
right?
shit, man. And I love almost everything he's done.
Right.
The characters that he plays in the roles he's gotten after Firefly are awesome.
What was he did that one episode of Arrested Development where he's hilarious. Where he plays that preacher, and he goes, my son is going to ask your daughter to get pre-engaged with you. And he's like, "Oh, well, should we open some sparkling apple cider?" And Michael goes, "No." And he goes, "Oh, would you like us to go down the liquor store and get you some liquor?" Playing this preacher, is hilarious. I mean, it's just a small bit part, and he did great in it.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why I got that work.
No doubt.
Pretty good acting. Well, I got arrested.
What? I
got thrown into this jail, me and a bunch of these other guys. And
fight over hard times?
No, they put me in a lineup, man. We all got filed into this room, and they gave us a phrase to say to the window thing. And it was, "Give me the keys, you cocksucker." Right?
That sounds like something you might say.
I'm on track with you now.
Okay, and so, they were just kind of like shaking things up. I don't know what was going on, but what happened afterwards? This guy came to me. Said he represents this fellow named Kaiser Soze. He's Hungarian or something. And I don't know if I should really tell you what else happened, but I mean, it's stuff's going to be setting off here soon. I got to go to LA soon. Anyway,
look, I'm just saying, and this isn't always true, but don't trust the cripple.
Really?
Don't trust the cripple. Never
Really?
trust the cripple.
He's quiet.
That's not always true.
Seems unassuming. What was his name?
Yeah, that's why they're always up to no good. Is because everyone knows they're unassuming. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the cripple Inquisition? Where are you going with that?
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it.
So that was my weekend.
Nobody's
Crazy
suspicious.
getting arrested.
Nobody's suspicious of the pickpocket in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Dude, did you see that episode of season 11? Or Always Sunny? The gang, Charlie captures a leprechaun?
Yes.
Wait.
Oh my
yes?
God.
Oh yeah. It's just a little midget Irish midget.
It's
A midget's the wrong word. I'm sorry. That's racist. No, wait. Sizest?
I don't know. It's offensive.
Tiny person. Little person?
And never touch their head.
Never touched. It's rude.
Yes.
For real though, I did hear, just side note, that midget is an appropriate term because it refers to a certain type of little person, whereas there's midgets and there's dwarves, and one is proportionate and one is not.
So one's a halfling and one... Sorry.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, one's a dwarf, yeah. Oh, goodness. But anyway, that Always Sunny episode, it's basically a St. Patrick's Day episode.
Yeah, and they have the bar. Everybody's in the bar, and he brings the midget to the basement. And
Little person.
A leprechaun.
Look, if I get in trouble for saying faggot, Somebody should get in trouble for saying midget.
Okay, we'll
Well,
use the
here's
proper
the
term,
thing.
leprechaun. That's what he thought he was.
Yeah, we use the term leprechaun because it's the fairest term to use.
Yes, I recall that. Wasn't he's trying to get him to give him his pot of gold?
Yeah.
And did he tie him or glue him? He had a
glue
leprechaun
trap.
trap and he got glued to the cardboard or whatever it was.
That's right.
Because that's how he traps rats. So he made a giant cookie, got a big cookie sheet, poured glue all in it, and caught this guy. And the position they found him in, his head on the ground and his feet on it as well.
Yeah.
It's like, how'd you even get there, dude? But
I've binge watched It's Always Sunny. I've only seen every episode once, and I did it in a rapid fire succession. So I'm not good on my Sunny quotes, but I do recognize.
And the whole thing with Dennis and Dee and Frank, where they're trying to make that van to take people like it's supposed to be like a pub on wheels.
Well, it's not Frank and Dee. It's Dennis.
Yeah, it's
And
Dennis.
he wants them to be all party like, and then they're not. So then they end up robbing them all.
Yeah, he's a sociopath, so he just ends up pulling out the gun every time and says, "All right, give me your wallets and cell phones." And they collect this big bag full of everyone's wallets and cell phones.
Just dump them off in the woods.
Yeah, and Charlie and Mac were so busy trying to get the money, the gold from this leprechaun, that quote unquote leprechaun they caught in their basement. And it was so funny, Mac being Mac, because he's like, the pot of gold, the leprechaun gives in, the pot of gold's at the end of the rainbow. And Mac immediately thinks, oh, the rainbow, that gay club. Down on,
Yeah.
I'm going to go there alone and find the pot of gold. Like,
Didn't he come back all painted gold?
Yeah, in green,
Glittery, yeah.
green with glitter and stuff like that. Oh God, Mac. He's that guy that created that show, isn't he? The guy who plays Mac.
Dennis and Mac created it.
Yeah, and in real life, Waitress and Charlie are married.
Yep.
And in real life, Mac and Dee are married.
She's got that new show, The Mick.
The Mick, yeah.
It's on my list to watch.
There was one preview that had I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna wait till this first season's over and I'm gonna rapid fire it. The scene that got me is you hear the bed squeaking upstairs. It's like, what? The little brother character is like, what's that noise? And Dee, I don't know Dee's character's name in the new show, but it's your sister's getting furniture moved. Like, I was like, that's it. The show won me over.
Yeah, I wonder if she's like gonna be typecast now. So.
I think it's a good place to be for her.
Yeah. She's doable. You think so?
Yeah, but she's already got to be mid to late 30s. She's only going to be able to play that young, irresponsible character for so long, and then she's going to have to evolve into some more serious roles.
I thought she already was old.
I mean, I think she's in her late 30s.
Am I older than her? No, I'm not.
I'm older than her.
I don't care.
I'm old as.
I don't care. Anything more about your weekends, fellas?
Nope.
Okay.
Are we going to jump into some news? Before we jump into news, I have a question.
Okay.
What does it mean when a sentence is commuted? Stop yelling, Luca.
I believe it means it's.
Hey.
I'm talking a jail term. You're probably, if you're sentenced to 10 years, it was commuted down to, a smaller duration.
It means
okay, well,
changed.
Obama commuted that Snowden chick.
What?
Chelsea
Handler?
Chelsea
Yeah, I know.
something.
Chelsea Manning.
Yeah.
Manning. Yeah. That was just It popped up in my news feed. It was breaking news. Obama commuted her sentence.
Yeah, I know, and like a couple hundred other people too. Do that? Oh,
Well, they gave her 35 years because they couldn't get Snowden.
Right, the commuter
They
session.
convicted her of stealing. They convicted her of stealing 750,000 pages of documents and videos to WikiLeaks.
Well, that socialist is doing his thing. Up to the last moment, ain't he?
He also pardoned James Cartwright, the former vice chairman of the U.S. Joint Chief of Staff, who pleaded guilty in October to a single charge of making false statements to federal investigators in 2012 when he was questioned about leaking top-secret information on U.S. efforts to cripple Iran's nuclear program to two journalists.
We'd be in jail for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It reduced... Oh, there's the answer. A presidential commutation reduces the sentence being served but does not change the fact of a conviction. So you're still guilty. You just don't have to serve as much time as you were originally sentenced to.
Yeah.
Right. Not like he...
Oh, and how funny. That Chelsea Manning That
Is a
Chelsea
man?
Manning character.
Didn't she become a man?
Transgender woman.
Yeah.
How what a not ironic, but
Did we pay for it? That's all I want to know.
Probably.
of course that's what you want to know.
I don't know.
You just found that story to get me ranting again. It was your Velar Mogulis that got me going
Aha.
last week.
So yeah. Anyway, that popped up in my breaking news, and I had to bring it up.
Not that I'm super excited about new president getting in the office, particularly this one, but I'm certainly glad Obama's leaving.
I like
Agreed.
Obama.
Anyway, you hear about the Los Angeles Chargers?
I like their new logo. It's like the LA Dodgers and Tampa Bay Lightning had a baby.
Anyway, I'm kind of pissed at the Chargers, and a lot of people are, especially in San Diego. Since they announced last week that they're moving from San Diego to Los Angeles, they have been. I think the stadium was egged. You know, people have been honking, holding up signs, flipping the bird at the stadium. The people are pissed.
I would be pissed too if I lost my team, but I do believe they had referendums. Listen, this is a business. I need you to, do stadium.
Right. So the taxpayer should have paid for a stadium.
Right, and they said, no, we're not going to pay for it. What choice? They called his bluff. He had no choice but to move. And what, you're moving up an hour down the road.
So you're on their side.
Well, personally, I don't think taxpayers should be subsidized on anything.
That's right.
The NFL makes enough money. They could do a rotating schedule, do 2 stadiums every year.
Which is what they're doing, right?
And every 16 years, you got a brand new stadium somewhere.
No. Move every single team to varying cities in Wyoming. Have all of the NFL take place in one state in the country that doesn't matter. And then, sure.
The country doesn't matter, or the state doesn't matter? Okay.
Tax the shit out of people from Wyoming. I don't care.
No, like I said,
Only people that live there are clones and cows anyway.
cities should not be paying for the stadiums.
I agree.
It should be, but that's not the State of the Union. So the State of the Union is we need to stay here, a new stadium, referendum. It got pushed down. When
these people are paying a sawbuck for a beer, there is no reason that these
that's why I don't.
These teams should be asking taxpayers to build their friggin' stadium. It's like you're gonna use my tax dollars to build this place where I get to go and spend ridiculous prices to get a ticket, ridiculous prices for concessions for merchandise.
I
And
100%
plus it's
agree.
football, so there's people fighting everywhere.
It's only in Philadelphia. I agree. It should not be paid for by the taxpayer, and then that's why I don't go. The only time I go to the games is if my wife's company or my company get free tickets, and then we'll go. I'm not going to pay over $100 for a ticket, and like you said, all the concessions and stuff that go with it, and parking. But these movers.
Yeah. This is a story.
It's
actually.
a funny story. So go on, tell the story.
There's two dozen moving companies in the San Diego area. They have vowed not to assist the Chargers to move to Los Angeles, but I think probably the Chargers have their own trucks, don't they? You think
they got buses? They just take out the seats.
Yeah, So they've also been calling other moving agencies, trying to get them on board with this "We Won't Move You Chargers.com" website they put up. God bless these people. This is a quote. "We decree henceforth that we shall unite as a perfect union of professional movers in agreeance, RAGREEANCE, to not aid the San Diego Chargers move to Los Angeles." I don't blame you, but, spell check.
None of their boxes are packed right. They're using blue painter's tape instead of packing tape. The cardboard boxes are not regulation size. The traditional 15 by 15 by 15. They're 15 by 12 by 11, and we won't stand for it.
It's San Diego. I'm sure they don't talk like that.
But the movers aren't from San Diego.
Movers are from San Diego.
No, they're from Texas, and they moved there to become actors, but they failed.
So they went down the.
They're now movers.
Don't start creating a character sheet for that NPC you just created.
Well, what I thought funny from the article, though, is they even got, I think, 8 Los Angeles moving companies to join their. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know why Los Angeles.
Okay, Somebody's going to move them. It's capitalist society. People need to profit, and people need to move. You got an opening in your schedule. Again,
These are the same people that are going to complain that Mexicans are taking the jobs.
it took our jobs.
It's going to be 16 dudes in one minivan. They're going to come. They're going to move all the Charger stuff.
Well,
and then you're going to complain
but you probably,
about the Mexicans taking the jobs, and meanwhile,
because you didn't want to
do the job.
You probably just solved it. They'll probably just drive down the street and get some Mexicans.
They're
going to
get one of those U-Haul trucks. They're going to drive to the Home Depot.
Yeah, hang around Home Depot for a little while.
Necesito 20 personas.
Mucho trabajo, dinero.
I'm saying that problem solved, Chargers.
Ven
aquí. Come here.
Ven aquí.
Come here.
You're hired.
Ven aquí. Yo tengo más trabajo.
Well, I guess we know who worked in construction or in kitchens.
Or both.
Right. Oh, God bless those hardworking people.
Dude, seriously, It's messed up how many people will complain about our jobs being taken away, and they're willing to do the jobs that nobody wants to do.
And
Dave Chappelle said it best on SNL. Y'all act like white people are going to start picking their own strawberries.
Yeah, right.
Like, for real. They are willing to do the jobs that nobody wants to do, and we're going to complain that they're taking our jobs that we're too fucking lazy to do, and we think we're entitled to make $15 an hour to do it, when they'll work for $7.75 to wash a damn dish. Seriously.
I'm that lazy.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to complain about any of them taking any jobs. That's all I'm saying.
No, they deserve them. If you're going to work like that,
if they're willing to work for that little pay, dude, by all means, you deserve the dishwashing jobs more than the 16-year-old whiny bitch brat kid who doesn't have any bills to pay or mouths to feed.
You ever been to like a establishment and there's some dipshit millennial behind that register?
Complaining about how he should be paid $15 an hour,
or just always
to
checking
mess
his phone.
up my fucking order. And I said no pickles, damn it!
Yeah,
how hard is it to press the no pickles button?
You get a.
See, when they go $15 an hour, it just justifies for McDonald's or whoever
to put the digital interfaces in.
Go get the kiosk. I go to Wawa, I don't get a mistake, and when I do get a mistake, I look at it, I go, I fucked it up. I can't complain to anybody.
Well, but if at Wawa, you're by then you're home or something.
You know,
or are you one of those people that eat out in the parking lot?
I have when I've gotten stuff like it's a Thursday night. I'm rushing to go to my gaming group, and I've got my daughter over at the soccer field, and I quickly eat the sub so I don't have to eat it at the gaming group because the gaming group is going to look. You know, they're a bunch of fat guys or former fat guys, and they're going to be looking with drooling lips, at my food. So I typically
as long as I got beer, food doesn't tempt me.
But typically, I would be taking it home with me. And when there's a mistake, I always go like, oh, there's a receipt, and I clearly entered the wrong thing. So I don't get mistakes when I enter generally on the kiosk, and that's what's going to happen if you get minimum wage to $15 an hour. Those jobs will disappear because you can go buy these kiosks. Especially a large corporation like McDonald's, cheaper than you can pay somebody.
You can get a tablet for a brand new quad-core tablet for $30 at Best Buy. $30. You know how much the hourly cost of that is?
Right. I mean, I always thought
in the course of the week,
restaurants give me a tablet. I thought of this if I owned a restaurant, which I have.
You go to Olive Garden. You don't even got to call the server. You can punch your appetizer in and order your drinks. The server could be in the kitchen. Fucking doing nothing, and you could just say, I want another refill, and a blue light will pop up, and then one of the other servers will see the blue light on top of your table and go tell your server, hey, the blue light's on table 67.
You think they'd have something in the back that said table 67?
Oh, most definitely.
But yes, definitely. I mean, I thought you'd have a restaurant, you'd have a menu, it'd be like a cheap iPad or not even like an Android tablet you get for $30, and then what's this item? You click on it and it gives you a whole little to do about that item and how they make it, what's in it. Right. And if you want, I mean, I understand, McDonald's workers, I don't understand them wanting, a server, they work on tips, whatever. I don't want to get rid of servers since they're $2 an hour anyways, but still, those jobs can easily be replaced by kiosks.
Absolutely.
Then what are the people going to do?
Like I told you, we're going to have, if everybody gets replaced by a robot when the singularity happens. We're going to have to move to a.
They're going to have to suck it the fuck up like our parents did and learn a trade skill. You're going to have to swing a hammer. You're going to have to plunge a toilet. You're going to have to mow a lawn. You're going to have to do manual labor and get some blisters on your hands and stop being little bitches.
You know,
okay, all throughout history, technology has increased our jobs and outsourced jobs. When new jobs come in, I just worry with robotics, what new jobs are going to come in, and is that going to be an equilibrium to the jobs that get displaced?
As more and more,
and
as more and more technology,
because I 100% agree with you. If there is an equilibrium, that there's new jobs, you just got to educate yourself that are close to equal what the jobs that were displaced. Yes, you're 100% right. But what if they replace? I'll just use numbers 1 through 100. If they create They displace 50 new jobs, but there's only 10 new jobs to take them place, multiplied by millions of people. What are you going to do? You can't say, go suck it up, Buttercup, because those people don't have the opportunity, because there's only 10 new jobs and 50 got gone. And you got 50 people fighting for those 10 new jobs.
And this is why Darwin was such a smart man. Survival of the fittest.
You can't do that in a modern society.
Those smart enough will adapt. I was a musician. I was a DJ. I wanted to build my own recording studio and record musicians. But here's the thing. Nowadays, you can spend $200. You can multi-track anything you want at home, and you don't need to go to the recording studio
anymore. You got it right here.
anymore.
You can do it.
Yeah, but it doesn't pay any of my bills.
What are those 40 people going to do? Okay, maybe not, the bottom 40, but the top 10 of those that can't get something, what are they going to do?
Learn a new trade.
Podcast.
But okay, then we'll be out of job.
Get something. Get 2 part-time jobs until they are able to learn.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree.
Now you can go to school online.
I went to school. I'm well paid. I'm not worried about it. And if something happens, I'll figure something out. But what I'm saying is, if it's literally the market is a closed market, you got 100 jobs, 50 of them are no longer existent. We don't need them because we've automated them. There's only 10 new jobs because you're going to need 10 people to fix them. What are those 40 people? They're going to compete for those 10 jobs, and yes, those bottom 40 out of 50 aren't going to get it.
And people must earn money, right?
What's going to happen? What is going to happen? And I agree with you. Suck it up, Buttercup.
We're gonna end up in a socialist government. Is what's going to happen.
Exactly. That's my point. I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent, but what is going to happen? And we're going to
be forced into a socialist government. That's what's going to happen.
Well, we're all going to have to end up getting food stamps. We're all going to have to get unemployment. Well,
not everybody. The top people that work and whatever are going to continue to work and pay their bills, and then that extra 40 people,
and they'll hire Putin to run us.
Right. But that extra 40 people, they're going to be the ones that we're more angry at and more hating because now I have to pay 90% taxes instead of 80% taxes.
And what I'm worrying in the future. I mean, I got 20 years. It's not going to happen. The singularity is not happening in 20 years. I'm fine, but I worry about my kids. I worry,
absolutely,
kid, yeah.
And then my grandkids.
Yeah, my niece,
my great grandkids. Because I plan to live into like I'm 1,000 years old. Just throw replaceable parts on me. So what's going to happen? I'm just curious.
Anyway, that was a hell of a rant.
That's what I'm here for.
It's not a very good one, but
I thought it was good.
It was okay.
I think it was a good back and forth.
I don't know. It kind of scares me. The whole concept kind of scares me.
Listen, I'm not saying I want a socialist government, but I was reading...
Because if you look at the job market the way it is right now, you got a whole bunch of people like myself, ex-military types, a lot of different skills, systems administration. I've done all this stuff. But the way that the businesses hire these days, I don't want to work for them. And especially with what happened with my old job and like how because they can't get their shit together, I was the jerk and I had to be fired. Forget that. I don't want to work for a company that's going to give me a personality test before I get the job because I've failed all of those.
I would expect you to.
All right. And the people that I talk to about getting these jobs, because all of these companies, if you want to make good money with health benefits and shit like that, you have to go through this long process of being hired. All right. while at the same time, that same industry is like knocking jobs out of the market. You know, oh, we don't need to hire this. You know, people clutter up the works, gunk everything up. You know, and I fail this personality test because I'm honest. And I talk to people that are like, hey, you know, didn't get hired for that job again. I flunked this personality test. And I was like, well, how'd you answer it? And I was like, I answered it honestly. He was like, no. You
gotta lie, bro.
Yeah, you got to tell them what they want to hear. And I was like, do they understand that people do that? And they're like, yeah. Then why is it fucking valid? Why?
You got a great point. Nobody can argue with you. You're absolutely right.
All right. If they know that these people are lying just to get the job, why do you want to hire somebody that's going to lie to get a job? That's why you have tons of people like me who are highly skilled, lots of experience, who are working minimum wage jobs.
Right. And here's the thing. You have so many people looking for the jobs, and you get a resume that says, I'm a system administrator, I have this cert, I have this cert, I have this cert, I have this cert. So you grab that pile, and then you got a pile that doesn't have the certs, and hopefully they're not lying on that. You can verify that. So you take that pile with the certs, you got to then, okay, we all assume you can do technology. I always give my people a test to verify, and if you get below an 80, I throw you out, and then I just go from 80 to 100. I don't care about your technical skills at that point. I care that I do ask some of those questions. I'm trying to gauge if you could lie to me about being customer service oriented, but I can tell you the last 3 people I hired, they were all good fits and they were customer service oriented. I knew their technical skills, and they've proven to me they have those technical skills. But I don't just have some weirdo personality exam that I make you take. I interview and I ask you the question, and I gauge you against the other candidates that made my list, and so far I've been 100%. But
see, that's the
I don't
thing.
do a personality test.
That's the thing. There was one question. It's like reading these articles that I post for the show. You know which ones are opinion, right?
Oh, it's painfully obvious which ones are opinion
And so
pieces.
I was taking this one quiz, and there was this one question that really stood out to me, and I stopped, and I'm stopping in the quiz to think morally what I should do to answer this question, right? And I don't do that. I just usually go with my gut answer like that. But this question was, you have to agree, like, or strongly agree, disagree, that kind of thing, you know. Had 5 different options between I don't care and 2 either way on the opposite side. The question, the statement was, the company owes me for what I do for it. I put strongly agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the question that, you know, was the final straw. It's like, nope, rejected. You failed this CBT. And I'm like, okay. And don't get me started on drug tests. You know, you have no right to search my body to see what I do when I'm not working for you. All right? Because I'll tell you what, you give me a current drug test of everyone at the company, you show me the results, then I'll piss for you. What's up with that? They all like water sports or something? Just sit in some back room throwing piss on each other? I don't want to know. How is that habit worse than mine? Anyway,
I can play devil's advocate here, and I can pose this argument as to why drug tests are necessary. If an accident occurs in the workplace, an insurance company won't pay out or will raise your premiums if you continue to employ an employee that has failed a drug test. So, if you slip at work and you break your ankle, and the insurance company says, all right, well, was the employee drug tested? And you say, yes, the employee was drug tested. He was high, or he had traces of marijuana in his system. So, all right, well, if your employee is using drugs and you continue to hire them, then we're going to raise your premiums.
well, that's insurance companies. They're assholes.
Forcing employers, if they want to be insured, they can't hire people that have been under the influence of drugs or not paying out for people that get in an accident. It's created by not just the employers. It's also the companies that work with the employers, the insurance companies. Big Pharmaceutical, man, it pulls a lot of the strings of the marionettes.
All right. Well, we're not going to get into an Illuminati rant. We're gonna go to the second story. We spent like 10 minutes on this.
Fine.
Taking turns ranting, really.
I don't know how it was even related to the first story, but
I can't even remember what the first story was.
We're talking about the Mexicans taking their jobs from the pack,
my jobs.
for the packing from the Chargers.
Oh, the Chargers. Anyway, they're the Los Angeles Chargers now. Who cares?
And nobody will move them, so they're going to hire Mexicans who are taking our jobs.
Yeah.
And when the jobs get taken away,
we don't have to go back down that path. We don't have to go back down that path. All right, this college president said he was fired for offering a homeless student shelter inside the library during the sub-zero temps. You know it was cold, right? Especially in that like Kansas City area where this took place. It's a trade school in Kansas City. This former campus president at Vatterott College in Kansas City says one of his students had no place to go. On Friday, January 6th, he allowed a student who was homeless and schizophrenic to sleep over, but he can afford tuition.
Well, I don't get the schizophrenic part of it.
Why? Yeah,
just the homeless part.
Well, I wonder if that. Okay, well, let's finish the story. To sleep overnight, he allowed him to sleep overnight in the school's library on a very cold night on Monday, January 9th. No, and then on Monday, the following business day, he was fired. The school. Here's this quote from him. I love it. What was his name? Brian Carroll. He said, "Education is a beautiful thing to me, but sometimes it gets destroyed in the process."
I don't understand that, but go on.
Education was destroyed in the process. He was trying to do something good for somebody else.
Sure.
And because he was homeless or because he was schizophrenic or nobody's allowed to be in there after business hours or whatever, that was one of the reason why he got fired. The education should involve doing good things for other people. I mean, that's the point of life, if you ask me. And so people, what you learn from this is that it's better not to help people because you can get fired for trying to save somebody's life, offering them warmth on a cold night.
Well, I commend the president for standing up. I'm hoping that there could be some sort of viral campaign to get this guy his job back. I think the board of directors or whatever the hell you're going to call the people that tendered his resignation deserve to be fired.
It's a trade school, so it's probably private, you know.
But nothing was damaged.
Right.
They had cameras, so he knew nothing was going to be damaged. And he's the president of the organization. Typically, as the president you hear making the dickish move, it would have been some sort of librarian that said, "Oh, I'm going to leave the door open." It was the president of the organization. You need to allow him to make a simple decision like this, a heart decision like this. I mean, I don't know why the dude's living in the woods. I'm sure there's homeless shelters in Kansas City. Be that as it may, he made a decision as a human being to give this guy a warm place to stay, and nothing was damaged.
And plenty to read.
And okay, you know what? Plenty to read. You get caught up on your schoolwork. There's this homeless schizophrenic dude that's trying to get a trade so he can be, get a job.
Yeah, more useful. Yeah.
So you're being a human, and honestly, I read this story and I'm like, I just can't believe they would do that. I'm surprised. I'd like to see if there's some sort of follow up to this. There should be some sort of campaign to get this guy. I'm not going to be involved with it. I might sign a petition, but there should be something to get this guy his job back. He did the human thing. That nothing was damaged. I mean, if anything, here's a warning: don't do that again. And what's the reason? Why is there a reason?
But why? Yeah, I wouldn't. If I were like the school board, I mean, it's like, is the school board or the people who make these decisions, are they just so fucking heartless that they're like, well, you're fired?
Yeah.
Not even one warning.
A warning.
But think about that. Think about the warning. It's like, okay, we're gonna let it slide this time, but don't you ever save the life of a homeless man again, or we're gonna fire you. Think about, like, do you even have a heart?
Exactly. I mean, I'm curious as to what the reasoning is. Is there a liability issue that could have cost them millions of dollars or got them shut down? But fine, give them that as the reason, as a warning. I mean, he did say he could have brought him to his house. I mean, maybe that's why they bring he's schizophrenic, because, I really don't want to bring this guy to my house.
Around my kids,
I mean, you could have given him $60 for a hotel. It's Kansas City. It can't be that expensive down there. I don't know, but I didn't think it warranted a firing.
Yeah, it's easier just like, I got the keys to the library. That costs you nothing.
Yeah, like I said, if he was
a
librarian, middle manager, he's the president of the damn school.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
And they said nothing happened. They had surveillance videos.
Surveillance, yeah.
Nothing happened. He left it better or the same that he came in. So no
what's
harm,
the
no
problem?
foul.
Yeah, exactly.
You could potentially save a human life and show some compassion.
Why is this on my news feed? All right. Ridiculous. I'm going to go to this Heat Street article because we've been eating up time with the rants. Which is awesome. Dude, I had a dream that Rebecca Felgate blocked me on Instagram. Anyway, so immediately I woke up and I was like,
so you didn't know what she had to eat, the cheese platter she was eating?
No, so I immediately started panicking. It's like, is she still on? Can I still access her on Instagram? I woke up like that. It's like, anyway. All right, this is a Heat Street article, so you know what you're getting into. Red faces. This is the headline. Red faces at IHOP after it retweets woman calling the Clinton campaign, quote, major garbage. IHOP has caused an uproar on social media after retweeting a socialist woman's tweet saying that Hillary Clinton had a major garbage campaign. I'm going to read this word for word because this article is hilarious. IHOP soon removed the tweet from its page and claimed they were hacked. Okay, Dungeons and Dragons ad. Okay, some on Twitter aren't buying the excuse. If a hacker took all the time to break into their Twitter account, they could have done much more damage than one mildly controversial tweet. It's like, a lot of hackers, that's all they like to do. It's just, look, I'm in here.
Eat a Perkins.
Yeah.
Go to Denny's.
The prevailing theory is that IHOP's social media manager, this is what I love, forgot to switch his or her personal account to his or her personal account before doing the retweet. So they're the social media manager. They're looking at socialist stuff on their own time, on company time. They're like, oh, I'm gonna retweet that. It's like, oh damn, I forgot to log into the other account.
That I buy.
I do buy that. Them
can happen. Getting hacked, I don't buy. And just be honest.
Yeah.
We made a mistake.
Whoops.
It was a wrong account. Somebody was just retweeting something.
What you don't hear is this employee, have they been fired?
No, they didn't save a life.
Exactly. You save a life, then you're going to get fired.
You talk about Hillary being garbage, then you're fine.
Yeah. Whether or not it was caused by a hack, it's pretty much, this is the last paragraph, and it's hilarious. It's actually one sentence. Whether or not it was caused by a quote-unquote hack, it's pretty hilarious for a major company to, parenthetically says correctly, call Hillary out for running a major garbage campaign. Correctly. Heat Street, all opinion.
I'm not trying to hide it.
All right. You know how these doorbells have
ring?
You get these.
I've been thinking of getting one, but I haven't pulled the
trigger. Where you can get video from your front door and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is in Snohomish County. Where the hell is that? When homeowner James Goldman's home security system told him there was a strange man at his door, he knew it wouldn't be good. But thanks to the security system that allows him to talk through his doorbell, he was able to scare off the would-be burglar. Now he's suggesting that other homeowners be vigilant about themselves. Is this when you thought about getting one of those?
No, I've been thinking about it for a while.
Oh, okay. Goldman was away from his Snohomish County home on Friday when he received an alert through his smartphone that someone was ringing his doorbell. So he logged into the security cameras online, spotted a white man in jeans and a puffy vest. Hey, what is it? It was Marty McFly. Shit. He just described Marty McFly. Okay. And a puffy... I got distracted. Puffy vest knocking at his door. This is a quote.
My door.
Yeah. Damn these ads. It's a guy at my door. It doesn't look like he should be there, Goldman said. Of course, it's your house. Nobody should be there, I guess. The man knocks a few more times and then appears to leave. Only moments later, however, he returns wearing gloves and climbs onto his roof. All right. As he's watching the events unfold through the security system, He starts yelling through the doorbell. Hey, get off our lawn, you kid! Start yelling at the burglar, and the yelling. I'm gonna call the cops. It was that kind of stuff he was yelling. And it spooked the guy, and he ran. It just makes you wonder, like, if, as a thief, you should know that this technology exists. It's like, there's a ghost in the house, and just start running or something.
Well,
like that.
here's the thing. You have somebody yelling through a speaker, be it they're live or they're not.
You don't know.
You don't.
That's the point.
It's probably not a recording, but he can call the police.
Mm-hmm.
So the police will be here. I don't have time to get into and steal what I want to steal. So in that case, it's worth it. But I was watching a news story, not necessarily, the ring system sounds cool and all, but it was in Northeast DC, not Southeast. So Northeast DC, a little respectable. And the Southeast is the MURB.
No. Go ahead. I think I remember talking about this.
And I did. And they're interviewing the one guy. He's like, yeah, why bother? I can put a mask on. So people are still going to steal your stuff. That's why I've been kind of vacillating. Do I get this ring or not? Because if somebody wants to steal something, they throw a mask on. I'm not going to have the camera to see where they were unmasked. But if I can have it, hey, dummy, hey, listener Tom, there's somebody at your door, and I can see them climbing on my fucking house, yeah, I'm going to yell through it and say, what are you doing? I'm going to call the cops. As I call the cops. So, yeah, I think in that case, the minor price tag for its ring. I did look on the article. They had a snapshot of Marty McFly climbing onto the roof, and it had a what do you call it, watermark that said ring on it. So,
cool. This one's coming from CNN.com. Paul LePage, Republican governor of Maine, said Tuesday, this is so awesome, that civil rights icon and Georgia Representative John Lewis should, quote, look at history and say thank you to 19th century Republican presidents for fighting for the rights of African Americans.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Way to be a dick.
The rest of his stuff I kind of understood, but thanking Lincoln and Grant, you okay, and what do you...
First of all, these presidents are dead.
Sure.
Second of all...
I think the phrase you're looking for is "splain Lucy."
Splain Lucy. What kind of dick says something like this? Because I don't know if you've been following the news, but John Lewis said that President-elect Trump
is not legitimate.
Is not a legitimate president because of the Russian hacking.
That's
valid point.
That's a valid opinion that he's allowed to have.
Exactly.
So this is my problem with it. When I saw him talking about Lincoln and Grant, and like, yeah, and thank you for the history lesson. I do think he's entitled to say, regardless of the results, they happened. Get over it. Don't set a precedent.
We'll get to the next story. Okay.
That's a valid opinion to have, and you're also entitled to be wrong.
Exactly. But I mean, the whole idea that you think that this black guy who lived through like the roughest time and
getting beaten to
horrible stuff,
Oh,
we want you to say thank you to the current Republicans.
No,
because you're being a d-bag who's like saying a very valid opinion, giving a very valid opinion. Well, is everybody from Maine a douche? Or is this they just, we like the douches, we vote for them?
They don't have black people up there, so their local constituents aren't aware, so they let these douches come in, and then when he has to speak on a public national stage.
I lived in upstate New York, Lake Placid, not far from Buffalo, but pretty
6
far.
hours.
Yeah, pretty far, but I lived up there, and this was like the 80s, early 80s, and we had this half black girl move into town.
It was probably the talk of the town.
Oh my God! Everyone was talking about it. She's white and she's married to a black man.
Yeah,
that was the 80s though.
Yeah, probably the 90s and probably the 2000s in Lake Placid, New York.
Because I mean that's what it's like up there. If you've ever been up there, it's very whitewashed.
It's a lot of skiing. I'm not sure the African American community skis all that often, but
I've seen. They were snowboarders though.
Oh, snowboarders.
Yeah.
But not in 1980.
No, this was mid 90s, 94 maybe. But they were black. I saw them. I could tell by their skin color. Yeah, was that racist? I don't know.
No.
Alrighty. Now let's talk about another crazy Republican. All right. But this one I kind of like because it's kind of hilarious. Representative Sean Duffy said on Tuesday that he is disappointed that more than 40 Democratic lawmakers have said they are boycotting the inauguration, comparing them to children unable to accept defeat. Quote, I'm disappointed, that all these Democrats are saying they are going to stay home, he told CNN's Chris Cuomo on New Day. It's like I was a little kid, and I'm used to getting a juice box and a trophy no matter whether I win or lose. This is still a quote. Listen, Democrats. Listen, Democrats lost. Donald Trump won. You might not like him, and you might not agree with his agenda, just like we didn't agree with President Obama's agenda. But show up, the Wisconsin Republican continued. Quote, unquote, be a part of the process. He added later, quote, put your big boy pants on, and let's start working together. Mic drop. Oh, you can rant, but he can't?
He can rant. He's entitled to his opinion.
Well,
now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I saw this article, and I was doing some Google foo. I wanted to see if there was any numbers of Republicans that did not attend Obama's inauguration, or vice versa, any Democrats that didn't attend George W. Bush's.
What'd you find?
Nothing.
Right.
So
it's unprecedented.
It's unprecedented. Now, unprecedented. So
that's what they want to do. They want unprecedented.
In general, I agree. You know what? What happened. Let's not focus on the problem. Let's focus on the solution. Let's see what we can do to work together. Obama had an 89% approval rating going into his inauguration. Trump's got a 40%. I'm not necessarily agreeing or disagreeing, but if there's anybody that has a problem, it's Lewis. That he doesn't truly believe in the legitimacy because of the Russian hacking, and he needs more information, and he wants to kind of. I'm not saying he's right, wrong, but I can see where he drew his opinion from. Let it go, and who cares? It's a stupid party that nobody really cares about.
Which party?
The inauguration events. Ooh, you see a guy swear in, and maybe he'll be,
It's like going to Times Square at New Year's Eve. It's uncomfortable. You got to wait in lines. There's security everywhere.
There's no. It's not like he's forcing a person in the cold. He's just not going to see the guy make his speech as a slight form of protest, saying, "Listen, I don't buy your legitimacy." Which then Trump goes, "Oh, you're all talk." Like, really? Of anybody you're going to... I mean, you could have come back with some other stuff. Maybe you're all talk nowadays. But this guy walked the walk and talked the talk back in the 60s when he walked with Martin Luther. So you can't say that to this guy.
How many followers does Trump have?
But how many followers actually... never mind. But I think a lot of followers follow for the comedy. And
that's what I mean.
And the popcorn watching to see what's going to happen.
And it's like, you got to understand, there's people who are, gravitate to it. For example, I was in the car today listening to all these people like, John Lewis is like, well, fuck Trump. That's what I say. Fuck him. You get a lot of that. Almost every day in the news cycle, there's like somebody says, Kristen Bell said, somebody says something. It's like, what the fuck's up with Meryl Streep? What the fuck's up with Trump? We get it. We're all on the same page, But the problem is that people are digging this stuff. News has just gotten interesting.
I don't think it's going to set a precedent. I think win, lose, or draw. I mean, when McCain, lost, when Romney lost, it was close, but there wasn't a feeling by the Republicans.
But the process continued.
Right.
The idea, I think the motivation behind all these people trying to get after Trump about the illegitimacy because of the Russian hacking, the American people definitely need to know everything about that and the amount of influence and stuff like that it could have had in it. That being said, there's a process. It takes time to collect all that data and to release it. All right, but in the meantime, you continue on like everything's hunky dory. All right, 2 months from now, when the report's complete and everyone, and they decide it's like we can unclassify it and send it to the American people, fill them in on it, as if that would ever happen. All right. Then we say, well, we got to impeach you, Trump. Sure. At that point, fine. But for now, let's keep what are we going to do? We're not going to say, let's keep Obama until we figure this out.
No, and Lewis isn't saying that. He said, I'm not going to go to the inauguration.
That's all.
So who gives a fuck?
I don't care. It's
like, okay.
He's old. It's going to be cold. I understand.
We understand that you 40 people are choosing not to go to the inauguration. Good for you.
Oh, it's like John McCain.
It doesn't make a difference.
It's like John McCain trying to skip church every Sunday. Because that's all he does every Sunday. It's just talk on talk shows, radio talk shows.
Sure.
Fox News,
Oh, sorry, Pastor John.
You want to go to church. Where the heck did EK go? We're at 7 o'clock.
I don't know. We can't stop the show.
Well, I just ran out of news stories. You got something to rant about?
But it's 7 o'clock.
All right. Well, I got to pee. That's all there is to it. You going to talk about EK behind his back?
You know him better than I do. I can tell me what he does, and I'll rant about his potential stupidity.
It was funny because he preferred to game master, but he was horrible at it. He thought that I got some perverse power trip from being a game master. It was like, yeah, your character died. It is because a grenade went off. It's not because that I wanted to kill your character. So then he wanted to be a game master.
So he would try to kill you.
No. But he was just so bad at it. Some people just have it and some people don't.
It's the story and getting it collected. I'm good at world building more so than game mastering.
Right.
So I like the world building part of it, and then just sometime with game mastering, I just okay, now what? So
that's what I mean. You see it. There are gaming sessions that I have 2 big bags. One that's filled with just source books, another that's filled with character sheets, organizations, and these entire worlds that I've created. I mean, we could sit here and I could tell you about Agartha. You know about Agartha.
Yeah.
I got planets.
Is that a Scott Robbins thing, or is that
Yeah, it's.
Or is that something you've gathered from other sources?
Yeah, I did a lot of research into Agartha. It's like H.G. Wells in Journey to the Center of the Earth is one of the first modern mentions of Agartha.
Sure.
All right, and there's all these different lands. All of it's constructed with all these quote unquote fictional lands that are supposed to either rise in and out of the sea and stuff like that. So it's this interior land, Agartha, and it's you got all these other islands. You got Bhuyan, which some mystic, I think Indian cultures talk about this mysterious island that this comes and goes. There's also Eden, where Adam and Eve came from.
Sure.
Lemuria, which is supposedly a large continent that was supposedly somewhere in the Pacific. I don't think so.
That disappeared.
Atlantis is
Sure.
and then you got Mu. Well, it's kind of the same.
So
place.
there's an Atlantis that's in Agartha,
Yeah,
which is the center of the
Shambhala, or Shangri-La, as some people know it as. Yeah, I even got Nazis down at the South Pole of Agartha.
If when I game master, I usually need to have a good source book, and I need to get people excited in that world. So I'm more of a Dungeons and Dragons person, and I'll get into the world of Eberron. And getting people, but typically, and then if I made my own game worlds, I always would think, okay, again, I'm not superpower or heroes like your preferences. I preferred medieval fantasies with magic. I usually would have the magic morphing into some sort of technology. So I used to work at a chocolate company. So, I had people that would use the magic spells to heat up the chocolate and conveyor belts. You'd have elementals that could turn to conveyor belts. So I usually had stupid stuff like that. You'd have cell phones, or not necessarily a cell phone, but, a sending spell that's cast on various rocks. and then you could use that to communicate.
So yeah,
so I would usually turn.
It was kind of like a Pierce Anthony kind of.
Sure,
Yeah.
I
love Piers Anthony.
I usually would turn. It was all about world building, and then I just lose the story parts.
I have the entire Piers Anthony written collection in digital format. I'm a hardcore fan.
I have them as books. Remember books? Oh my God.
It's our outro music.
I got him hooked on this game, and I am so glad I got someone to play this game with. My Singing Monsters, everyone. Hashtag My Singing Monsters. It's hilarious. If you're into music like EK and I are, you should check it out because you grow and hatch these monsters that sing.
And it's awesome.
Yeah. Here, it's starting over now, right?
I think it is.
All right. We can do the outro. Goodbye. We love you.
Thank you once again for listening to Shock Monkey Radio Redux on FXBG Pirate Radio. Thank you, listener Tom, for being in studio, Tom, tonight.
I think we can add Ranting Tom.
Ranting Tom. And also make sure you check out the Madman's books. Check out Scott L. Robbins on Amazon.
2 T's and 2 B's.
And you can find all of his written works.
How else would it be?
And now listen to these monsters sing.